Hey everyone, if you guys can hear the maintenance guys outside my apartment complex moving stuff, just ignore that. I don't know what they're doing, but they've chosen to do it right outside my window. So I have to film this video and edit it so I can get it out to you people. So just ignore that. Also, I have a fan going because it is extremely hot because I'm right next to this window that gets extremely hot. So also ignore that because I need airflow or else I will sweat my ass off while I film this. Also, today I'm coming from a slightly different angle. Usually I'm on this couch behind me, and now I'm standing up in front of the couch. So coming to you from a little bit of a different angle, trying something new. Also, yes, I am wearing my Bucky shirt once again, but I swear I do wash it in between when you see me. I'm not just wearing it nonstop for a week straight. So just know that. It's just a comfy shirt. When I'm at home lounging, I like to wear my comfy Bucky shirt. So leave me alone. I'm in the privacy of my own home. Let me do me. But if you are new here, first of all, subscribe. Duh. Second of all, we are doing a Real Housewives of Orange County recap series. I've recapped all the other episodes leading up till now. I have them in a playlist. So if you want to go back and watch all of them, if you've already seen them and you want to, recap leading up to this video, go and watch whatever you want to do. But yeah, we're going to be talking about episode 9 today of the Real Housewives of Orange County season. I think we're on 18. I keep forgetting what season it is, and it's also bonkers to me that we're on season 18, that it's been going on that long, like 20 years. Like it's crazy. So yeah, this week I do have a little bit more notes than I usually do. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this episode was really good. I don't know, the past few episodes, it's just been a slow build up to where we are now. So I'm excited to talk about all the stuff happening in this episode. A little overview. There's some type of, I don't fully understand like what event they're going to, other than it's like some type of LGBTQ event that Heather is kind of working with some company. Sorry, I don't remember. So they're going to Sonoma for like a wine / LGBTQ event. So that's where we're kind of headed, and they're at like the spa in Sonoma. Right off the bat, before we get into the Sonoma trip, Alexis was talking. Alexis just keeps on like I don't think she said this at the beginning of the episode. I think she said it later in the episode, but the way she was talking at the beginning was like, once again, slamming Shannon. And I'm like, this whole propaganda, basically, of Alexis wanting to be friends and make up with Shannon is such bullcrap. Like, she even says it later in the episode while she's trash talking her at the beginning of the episode. I'm like, it's very clear that you're not trying to make up with Shannon. It's obvious. Like, I don't even know why we're doing this facade like she's trying to find peace in any of this. And she keeps on saying that like Shannon is the one perpetuating it. My second thing that I said was, what is Shannon saying? It's like, we're only really seeing John and Alexis continue this, but I don't know. It's maddening. It's maddening. I mean, obviously we saw later it comes up this picture of John and Alexis, and Shannon commented on like the shoes that John was wearing because she bought the shoes for him apparently. It was like, but to me, it was like very justified. Like, she's just irritated because she has this man who is, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but she has this man in her life who is demanding 75 grand from her and then wearing these hundreds of dollars worth of shoes that she bought for him, and then claiming like he paid for all this stuff in the relationship and all this X, Y, and Z. It's like there's literally proof right there with your new girlfriend that Shannon contributed to your relationship. I feel so bad for Shannon. It's just ridiculous. And I'm not saying Shannon is in any way, shape, or form. Like, I just think John, to me, what comes across more than anything is that her and John's relationship is like very, very toxic. I feel like that was very apparent by the end of the episode, especially. It's like, you guys just need to not talk ever again. You need like a restraining order, whatever. Just don't be in each other's lives. Before we get into the Sonoma trip, I'm taking a little bit of a change and talking about Heather. I will say I appreciate how open Heather is about like her kids and stuff. And I just, people hate on Heather, but I do feel like she just loves her kids so much. And it just really shows, like, when she, I don't know, she really does a lot of things. She lets them pursue the things they want to do creatively, whatever, personally. And she just seems like a really good mom. I don't know. It's just, I like seeing her kids, like, they're so grown up and like mature, even when they're like, even her two younger ones, like they're just really mature kids. So I love seeing that side of Heather. I like Heather. I know people don't like fancy pants, but I do like Heather. I don't know. She's just, I like a lot of the OG girly, not that she's like an OG, but like she is from the like more early stages of OC, and I just love Heather. So what can I say? I will say though, she is a nut job because, and it's like we're constantly reminded why Heather is a little, here's the thing I think people don't, when they first meet Heather especially, they don't really understand about Heather. She kind of reminds me of Dorit from Beverly Hills, because Dorit, I feel like initially she's a very misunderstood person because she comes off a little like there's something about her that's like doesn't come off great to people when they first meet her, but then eventually kind of grow to love her. And I was the same way. I did not like Dorit on the show originally, and I grew to like really love her on the show. And I think that's a little bit of the same thing with Heather. I think while she's entertaining and stuff, I think like when people interact with her, she is such a type A, like wound up person. I mean, for God's sake, she said last year that like when Terry had a stroke or whatever, that she scheduled a time to have a breakdown. This is how like nutty she is. I mean, she's such a type A wound up person. And then she's talking about how she folds her clothes in tissue paper so they're all nice when she travels. It's like, that is so, it is so like, she is not a normal human. Like she just thinks on a different plane than everybody. I don't know what that plane is. She is just a different level that we will never understand. I think the normal human mind cannot comprehend the nuttiness of Heather Dubrow unless you just already think like that. I don't think you're ever going to understand the nuttiness. And moving on to the trip to Sonoma, I was like, ooh, they're taking as Jill Zarin said back in like season 1 of Real Housewives of New York, she said, do you have a big pee-pee or whatever, talking about like a private plane. So I was like, ooh, they're taking the pee-pee to Sonoma. Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, taking a private plane to Sonoma. Too bad Jen didn't get to ride on the private plane. I kind of already talked about this, but I said I think it's fair for Shannon to be annoyed that the things she bought for John, it's like she bought these things for John and now he's being petty about money. It's like, yeah, I would be annoyed too. I'd be like, yeah, I bought those shoes for him. Yeah, I did this, I did that. Because I'm like, this man's asking for money and I probably spent way more in our relationship than he's asking for now. Also immediately, like the cabins and everything that they're in, I'm like, immediately I'm planning my vacation. I want to go. I just was like, this place is so cute. And like, I love wineries too. They're so fun. Yeah, so planning my vacation. At this point too, we're learning that Shannon, her decision is due that day or whatever day they land in Sonoma. She has to respond to John's lawsuit or whatever pending law. I don't know exactly the status of it at this point. She said she offered him half of the money, half of $75K, whatever that is, 30 something, I think, maybe. And some of the ladies are like, well, you should just, I think Emily was saying like, you should just pay the full thing, be done with it, don't have this in your life. And some of them are like, just take the money. And I think it was Gina. I think I wrote down Gina. Well, I'll get to that in a second, actually. I'm getting ahead of myself. This was such a good episode, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I just said he should take the half, and he ultimately, I think, just wants to, like, kind of make her life hell. I don't really even know if it's about the money at this point. I feel like it's not. I feel like it's more about just kind of prolonging and torturing her. Also, there was a comment made, which I didn't fully understand, and I don't know anything about Alexis's kids. This is also kind of a side tangent because the episode kind of goes in and out of this conversation of the lawsuit. I was shocked. I don't know anything about Alexis Molino's kids, but I'm kind of shocked. She made it seem like they might be LGBTQ of some sort. And I was kind of shocked by that since her and her husband were so like uber Christian, her and Jim Bellino were so uber Christian. I was kind of surprised that like she was so open, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Also, before I get back into the Shannon stuff, because I think that's the rest of the episode, my notes on the episode. But before I get back into that, I said, I saw people saying that it's kind of interesting how Gina Travis helped Gina a lot through her divorce, and now she's kind of kicking Travis to the curb while he goes through his divorce. Still really don't understand why they're kind of going their separate ways, even though it seems like it's only on her side that she wants to go a separate way. I don't fully understand. I don't understand what's going on with that. It just seems like she's breaking up with him, but she still wants him in her life, but she doesn't really fully want to like commit and go any further. So, which granted, I understand he's going through his divorce, but which is kind of, it's so strange that hers was so tumultuous and crazy, and yet she's somehow past that before he is. His situation must be pretty bad, because hers was pretty bad and she's already done with it. So it must be pretty bad for him. Gina said basically, I totally agree with what Gina said in a confessional going back to the Shannon John situation. She said like, just take the check and, you know, move on with your life. Like, why are you, it's like, if you guys are so happy in your relationship, why are you're still holding on to this like past thing though with Shannon? And I also said, it seems like Alexis made a comment at one point that she even wanted it to be like, she wants him to like let go of it too, but he won't. And she's kind of deluded herself into thinking that, okay, well, he really hurt her and I have to stand by my man. It's like, well, no, because like I said, he's holding on to the past with his ex-girlfriend who you are around a lot at this point. And I don't know, she's just so blindly standing by him. It is so, I don't know. It's amazing how she can basically say like, I want him to drop this lawsuit, or I want him to drop this whole thing and move on. And yet she's still like, but I gotta stand by my man. It's like, why? What, like, if he's not in the, I mean, it's like, I don't know. He has somehow convinced her that what he is doing is justified in some way. And that I don't know if he's lying to her. I don't know, because like I said, there's nothing we're seeing on Shannon's end really that is making us, I don't know, like she's not talking about him on the show. If she's trash talking off the show, that's a different story. But it's like, she's not saying anything as far as I'm aware publicly. I don't know if there's interviews or something around this time that she was saying stuff, but why wouldn't she also be saying it on the show if she's comfortable doing it in a newspaper or whatever, or online? Why are we not seeing it on the show? I don't know. I don't know, or if he's making things up that she's saying supposedly and telling it to Alexis to get her riled up. I have no idea. I just said, yet Alexis does not see this as a red flag. That's what I don't understand. Why would you want to, and now they're engaged. That's even the crazier part. I forgot to mention this. But yeah, they're engaged and it's like, move on. Like, let Shannon go. You know, you've moved on. Good for you. Also, so they're sitting at the end, and getting ready for their little spot treatments and stuff. And Gina just, oh, well, in the videos, you know, and then tries to pretend like she didn't do that on purpose. Girl, stop. I can't even, when Gina does this stuff, I'm not saying they shouldn't have told her. They should have totally, I said in my last video that I definitely think they should tell her. Whether or not that's on camera, I don't know. But the way Gina went about it was just so annoying. It was like, don't do this, like, oops. Like, no, you did that on purpose. Like, don't do this, oops, it just slipped out. That was so fake. Like, it was so phony the way she was like, oops. Like, no, I don't believe it. Because Shannon was already kind of like frayed at that point. I think Emily was worried it was really gonna send her over the edge. And I'm actually really amazed that Shannon didn't like, I'm amazed her reaction was, you know what? I'm going to call my lawyer and just say, pay him whatever he wants and just be done with this. Because it's just not worth this stuff just continuing to be brought up constantly. I mean, it's just like torturing her. And then they're basically blackmailing, or I think Emily or somebody said, like just extorting her for money. And that, I mean, that's literally the case. I mean, they're using these videos and stuff supposedly that they have as like proof that, I don't know, just to, yeah, I guess make her hand over the money or something. I don't know. If I were Shannon, I would have told my lawyer, like, they have these videos that I would have used that almost as I feel like the money probably would have gotten dropped, maybe, potentially, I don't know. If she had told her lawyer, like, they're using these supposed videos to extort me for money, that cannot possibly be legal. I mean, I don't know. I totally understand why she didn't want to pay them the full amount. I mean, it's like, well, I'm going to pay you to go off into the sunset with your new girlfriend, new fiance. But I'm so glad that Shannon just was like, told Gina, like, thank you for telling me. I'm just trying to be done with it. And, you know, she acted, I feel like, very, I don't know. I was surprised by her reaction, and I'm glad it was just like, I'm just going to be done with it. So going forward, if Alexis brings it up, it'll just be like, well, I dealt with this with you guys and I'm moved on. I don't want to get involved with this anymore. At the very end of the episode, I will say there are very few things that shock me on Housewives, like make me go, like that moment of the picture was absolutely insane. So if you haven't seen, I mean, first of all, spoilers, don't really want to spoil anything for you, because I just suggest going and watching this episode. But it was crazy, and I will be interested to see the next episode. So Shannon goes to Heather's room because they were going to go out to dinner, and she decides not to do that, obviously, because she just really does not want to be around Alexis. And Shannon shows this photo of the night that she got her DUI, and she is just like bleeding, like there is blood going into her eye. It was so crazy. Like seeing that photo, I was like, whoa, like I was genuinely shocked. It takes, like I said, it takes quite a bit for me, I feel like, to be shocked, especially on like Housewives. I feel like that kind of stuff does not happen very frequently. And that was shocking to see that photo, and that she had sent it to him and he did not even really check in on her or anything. And asked, what was the question he asked after? I don't know. He asked like some question the next morning or whatever. Like he read it and then just asked like a normal question the next day. It was like, where are you or something. The only thing that made sense to me was that he was also really drunk. And here's the thing. If Shannon had a drinking problem, if she had a drinking problem in this relationship, I have a hard time believing, let's just put it this way. I have a hard time believing that he didn't also potentially have a problem with alcohol. Maybe not quite to the extent, but I don't think that there was, I think it was both of them, to be honest. I think I thought about this the other day. It gives me a little bit of a Tom D'Agostino and Luann sort of situation where they were just partying and being kind of toxic, drinking too much, all of that stuff together. And then when it stopped being fun for, you know, it just got to the point where it stopped being fun for them. You know, it just became this super toxic dynamic. And yeah, I guess that's the best way I could put it in like Housewives terms. It gives Luann and Tom vibes. I also will stand by the fact that if Shannon was at John's house, smashed, why did they let her get in a car and drive? Unless he was also really shit-faced and didn't really like fully comprehend what was going on. Why did he let her, or whoever was there, if his daughter was also there, whatever, why are they letting her get in a car and drive? Not saying it's totally on them. Obviously, she has to take responsibility for her actions, but if she was that drunk, why? That's all I have to ask. But anyway, that is all I have. That is what I leave with you. What are your thoughts on the John Shannon situation, the saga? The saga continues. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Honestly, it was one of the better ones in my opinion, and I hope next week was interesting. Love that to be continued when that frame comes up. Just makes me feel so good inside. So so let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and yeah, I'll see you next week.